My name is Chico Lopez and I specialize in American Pitbull Terriers. That has been my life's passion. Really, I'm telling you, meeting a guy is the craziest guys about American Pitbull Terrier. There's pictures of me all over the world. I mean, this will make it very interesting for you because you find a guy that since he was 18 years old, he knows where all the best dogs have always been. And always been about only the best. And so we developed, we went and we said we wanted to get this project and cast the vision for only the best by thinking about how can we build something better than we have now in the 90s, something that was better back in the 80s and the 70s. How can we do that? Well, we needed to get the best elements, the best knowledge, the best understanding and everything else. So it was a long time of preparation, learning how to condition, learning how to breed. But I had a big advantage. I was bred different than everybody myself. I already came with tons of automatically energy and passion, and I had something, a specific word that they don't have. It's called curiosity. And I had a simple thing about common sense. I didn't want to hang around with all the mediocrities were, all the masses, because I wanted to be better. If I hang around with them, I knew I was not going to be the best. I need to stay away from them. And I was born with a gift, the gift of picking the best dog from a bunch of mutts. So when I was picking, I wanted to pick up then from the best bloodlines. So bloodlines for me were important, very important. But what was important in the bloodline, it was the understanding of a bloodline. And when we go into the understanding of the bloodline, I understood that every bloodline might have 100,000, 500,000, 300,000, depending on which era and depending on how people spread that bloodline. There were eras where a lot of people were active in the dogs and they were spreading this name, until they water down. They go through a process where they breed the dog to some females, they call them crosses. Then they start to breed the brother with the sister. Then they take puppies at that, breed them together. They all have the type of this blood. And they do all these disasters and they think they're doing a good job. So they have a lot of dogs within a bloodline and new people coming in because most of these people, they're also passionate. The difference between they being passionate and me is merits. I achieved success, they didn't. So you're gonna find a lot of people out there that's gonna be talking about dogs and some of them might criticize me and hate me or whatever. But the difference between anyone that hates me, anyone, you go anywhere, you see anybody talking BS about Chico Lopez, you ask them and say, Chico Lopez got 4 dogs of the year. He has so many grand champions and champions. You by yourself, next to Chico Lopez, who wins? Who's better? No chance. No chance. Oh, I'm an expert. I know this. My cousin, my nephew, I saw they don't like this guy. I'm going to gossip. No. Let's take all this BS out of the way. Let's take everything off the table. Let's write down your name, Chico's name, and you start giving me the names of all your dogs of the year, your global grand champions, your trips around the world, everything. You soon realize you're talking to a guy that's very passionate about the dogs, but he's not on the level of Chico Lopez. He's just a hater. And so what happens is, when I look at the bloodline, I wanted to have an understanding that most of the people in the bloodline were only dog owners. Really? Yes. Most of the people, I'm a dogman. They get this fake word. It's a real word, but with them it has no power. So it's like having a diamond that has a value because it's real. But when that word goes to them, it's fake because they are fake. They're not real dogmen. But they say they are dogmen, right? So they don't have no real merits to be called themselves dogmen, And so you have this big group of guys with these dogs, with pedigrees, with registrations, with blah, 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 and jumping walls, some of them, and pulling cards and all this BS. And this guy breeding with that one and that one with that one percentage. Some of them have a solid. It's crazy. The important thing is this. Let me give you an example of Mayday. Some guy might have 100 times Mayday on a pedigree. The dog is worthless. Finding the very best dog in the litter is the exercise. Most people follow the people. I'm not that guy. I saw Barracuda in person, 600, and all these other dogs of the era, and I was able to see also Macho Wantan Winner. And they didn't, but I did. I was blessed, and this is the kind of Forrest Gump type of story, because I was blessed to be able to see this, and they didn't. So I had an advantage because I was blessed to see this dog. I didn't need somebody to tell me stories. They need someone to tell them stories. I don't need this. But I did try Barracuda, by the way. Maybe about 37, 40 dogs of Barracuda. Listen, man, they were beautiful looking dogs. They looked like Barracuda. And they beautiful big heads, some of them, blah, 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 whatever. I couldn't keep them. I wanted to keep them. I wanted them to work out. Some of them were like Barracuda, bred to his champion, half-sister, champion Isabel, and stuff like that. I couldn't keep them. I couldn't. They wouldn't make it next to the awesome buck dogs. So I had to get rid of all of them. And I only kept the dogs of Awesome Buck. And Awesome Buck came from Macho Wantan Winner directly out from Mayday. And somehow, the spins of life, the owners of Macho Wantan Winner, they let him die frozen. So there was nobody really with the bloodline except me. I take this bloodline. I developed the bloodline. I mix it with the best of the honey bunch, which was a very painful process to develop the best honey bunch, and some of the best red boy. And I created my own bloodline that is superior to everything else. Superior by miles. Superior. And I started to achieve massive success. Massive success. Talking about the 1990s, early 2000s, and we're talking about not United States. So they'll be like, oh, United States. Relax, little girls. Pink unicorns. Traveling to Europe, North China, South China, Russia, what's his name? Thailand, Ukraine, all over Brazil, Mexico, from coast to coast, the whole borderline, all the baddest cities, everything. East Coast to West Coast in America back in the early 1990s. And you come back and start thinking, start adding numbers slowly, you start these dogs and those dogs. You create this bloodline. You do it by yourself. Nobody else had it. And now I look at these guys. I look about the way they backstab themselves and everything. I don't want to deal with them. And I knew that I created something that was different, that was very special. The titles, Dogman of the Year, Dog of the Year, all this stuff came through. And we created a product that is the best American Pitbull Terrier in the world. We picked up dogs that were great pets, always. Bagman, an absolute pet quality dog that was a savage, that needed a good owner to watch him so he don't eat your walls. But then we look at Atos or Mechanic Buck, which is very calm. We look at Ciega, the same thing. And we started breeding these dogs. We understood these other people didn't have these dogs. They had dogs that might be related to my dogs back in the 90s. But then there was a tremendous separations. When they stood in the little states in the United States and I started going around the world looking and breeding and challenging myself, I started to create separation. In Brazil, we breeding like so many dogs, and then just picking the best ones. When you have the power to develop 300, 400, 500 dogs, and you pick only the best out of these super bred dogs, you start to gain tremendous track, and nobody else can gain this track. And we built something that was never built by anybody else. No one had done what we have done. No one have traveled. No one have won. No one have lost the way we have done. We did those things that the GOATs have done in the particular classes. When somebody becomes a GOAT, we had the vision low way, and we didn't care about people's opinions. We still don't care about their opinions. We wanted to create a super product. Once the product was created, it was a very difficult process for me. I remember the first time I let somebody else have my dog. it was very painful because I couldn't just be happy for the other guy having my own dog, because my dog stays only with me. But I was able to overcome that part, and I was able to be happy for them. And with time, I realized that there was a beautiful thing to see my dogs growing up in the families with pets and blah, blah, blah. My dogs are so great. I'm talking about the direct daughters of Melania. We're talking about granddaughters of Sierra the Great, being pets, sleeping with cats, sleeping with other dogs, walking to the school bus, stop and dropping the children, playing with the children, with the wives, with everybody. We took the American Pitbull Terrier to another level. And all the dogs, you take the pedigree of one of my dogs, put it one, their dogs are garbage. Our dogs are supreme, greatest quality. And we did this by putting tremendous amount of work, tremendous amount of investment, tremendous impact to be the very best. And that's what we've done. And we're very happy for our clients about our dogs. We want them to be happy. We want them to enjoy their dogs. Of course, there are some leftovers, diehards that they don't want to go away. They have very little success. They have maybe only one champion, two champions. Some dogs here, they try to claim these. I have some guys that call me, the uncle called me, then the nephews called me, then his son called me, everybody. But the same guys that I find out later, they're in the internet just moving their lips talking about Chico Lopez and, trying to claim things. But you must understand, it does hurt them that I developed something so special and I'm not sharing with anybody. That I don't want to be part of them. That I'm not willing to take their money for one of my dogs. That I say no to them, but I say yes to the school teacher. That I say no to them, but I say yes to the doctor, to the lawyer, to the engineer that's going to give my dogs a great life. And those people are happy with the dogs. And my dogs are in a better place with better people. The breed itself is alive, and it's alive right here. Any dog they have or anybody else have around, show dogs, the moose, whatever, all those dogs, they might be very good pets. They might be good dogs to themselves. People love them. All of that's perfectly fine. And I don't want to trash nobody. I don't want to say nothing bad about nobody. The only thing is, whenever somebody come over and say equality, I'm against equality when it comes to the American Pitbull Terrier. I'm pro consistency on greatness, and I'm on competition to see who's the best. So whenever you tell me this dog, is good or in your level, then we start looking at numbers. And when we look at the numbers, we realize that your dog is literally a fucking mutt next to my dogs. Your dog is absolutely nothing next to my dogs. And the reason is because I'm a better dogman, a better person, a better breeder. I put more work, I got more smarts, I got more intelligence. I apply more myself. I'm a winner and you're a loser next to me. And we did all these things to create a super dog. And you didn't do that. So you can't come and say you're on my level if we are up there and you are down there. Not the same. But if you are down there and you just enjoy your dog, perfect, superb. Just don't ever step up to the plate of the goats and say, I'm on your level, because you're not on my level. You haven't done what I have done. Easy and simple. Don't kid yourselves. And I make this video because there's people that are, going to forums, to places. You go to a forum of 40,000 people. You go to a forum of 140,000 people, pet lovers, dog lovers, APVT lovers. You go there. Not one of those people have a single dog of the year globally. Not one have two. Not one have four. They're just not on my level. None of them. They're little babies. We give them a pacifier to all of them. And if a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer calls me, or a housewife calls me and get a puppy from me, has a better dog than all those 140,000 people. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. Because the doctor, the lawyer, the engineer, or the housewife wanted to be with the goat, not with you, with the goat. And for you lady, for you doctor, engineer, That's how it works in American Pitbull Terrier. My name is Chico Lopez. I'm going to advise everybody to love your dogs, best food, work them out, exercise them, have a great time. Enjoy all your pets, good, bad, much, whatever. I'm a very competitive animal. Don't come here trying to say your dog is better. Other than that, we cool. Stay on your line. For people that want to breed dogs and want to come to me like Chico, you know, my homeboy, I'm friends with the guy, don't do it. Don't do it because I'm not a friendly guy when it comes to those conversations. Don't do it. You're not going to be able to buy a dog from me. Oh, but I got the money I want to pay. Don't do it. It doesn't matter to me. It don't mean crap to me. I'd rather sell my dog to a school teacher than to sell you the dog. I want my dogs to have a great life. I want my dogs to have a great time. I want them to be pets. I want them to be happy, and I want them to elevate the families where they live. That's what I want. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm not looking for you. Okay? I'm looking for good people. My name is Chico Lopez, 123. 123pitbulls.com. 806-500-5552. Check me, compare me. You realize that I'm not being an egoistic maniac, that I'm not being a bastard or anything like that. It's just that I know the facts. I'm the GOAT. Thank you. The number said that. Bye-bye.